purpose of this film is to reflect upon my practice and contextualise this process. This will enable understanding of my influences and how they come to inform my approach that attempts to weave painting, text and audio with architectural and sculptural forms. Choosing to make this film as a mode of submission allows the self-reflexivity I require at this stage to understand the strands of influence in my practice and how this helps to orientate my work going forward. Within my practice, I orchestrate imagery in a stream of consciousness, multitudinous, cut and paste manner that merges with some of the signature architectural motifs of brutalism, using its utilitarian and graphic quality to create a sense of power and massiveness. I create a form of image architecture, of archival imagery and screenshots from the internet, which reflects our relationships to images by the infinitely variable culture of the web and history, attempting to allow the viewer to experience polarities that riddle culture and thought by overlapping and juxtaposition. Narratives overlap, compete and collide, whilst the Gaelic language, traditional culture and society of the Highlands and Islands, which are interwoven through these narratives, serve as a form of memoryscape where events and memories conflate. I include visual references to brutalist architectural and sculptural forms as devices that formally resolve and connect other elements and interpret how they may be transformed into a moment of poetic sensuality when merged with painting, acting as monuments or symbols of resistance that serve as enduring markers of the past and aspirations for the future. My upbringing in the Outer Hebrides continues to inform my work profoundly. Two important features are the Gaelic language and the missile testing range, which is situated in close proximity to my family home. Silhouettes of concrete bunkers are spread across a stretch of land where ground launch areas are sited and provide missile launching, testing military hardware before being sent to conflict zones around the world. The structures exhibit the signature visual qualities of brutalism: cast concrete surfaces, exposed functional elements, stark and unapologetic forms. I am interested in the political backdrop to the emergence of the rocket range amid community concerns that threaten the Gaelic culture. As part of protecting the community's heritage, wayside shrines were commissioned as symbols of resistance. These monuments embody the community's resilience and connection to their land, preserving their unique cultural identity amid external pressures. Further into the distance on the island of South Uist is an important modernist building, Our Lady of Sorrows Church. In 1994, my father was commissioned to replace the existing mural with a new work which reflected the sorrows of the contemporary world. As a child, I watched with curiosity as he formed the images of the mural by rendering into wet concrete. The philosophies I attach to the painterly spaces and figures within my practice are anchored to heterotopias, Renaissance humanism and epistemology. The Order of Things by Michel Foucault deals with the philosophy of heterotopias as worlds within worlds. His book traverses through periods of history to explain the epistemes, systems of thought and knowledge that define various epochs, namely the Renaissance, Classical Age and the Modern Age. Foucault succinctly summarises that painting imitated space and representation, whether in the service of pleasure or knowledge, and posited as a form of repetition. The figures within my work are acting as a reflection of Foucault's theory on resemblance, whereby things scattered through the universe can answer one another. Emulation is a sort of natural twinship existing in things. I've attempted to represent this concept in the figures by duplication, who resemble one another completely without it being possible for anyone to say which of them brought its similitude to the other. My studio's proximity to the Warburg Institute has furthered the continuation of this line of study because of its unique organisation, based not on the standards of the time, but on the idea of uniting the various branches of human knowledge and on the law of the good neighbour. It is a specific characteristic of the law of the good neighbour that items sharing the same class mark should not be in any particular order, reflecting a lack of hierarchy or differentiation between types of items. It's also complemented by a photographic collection containing photographs, slides, postcards and clippings from auction catalogues dating from the late 19th century and arranged in folders by subject. This has influenced how I categorise and archive my own research and source material. I am interested in how digital imaging affects analogue painting by rendering with paint the functions of digital clone and eraser tools, drop shadows and gradients. The logic of Photoshop or pixelation shapes my approach to colour, form, depth, shade, tone, volume, all the parameters that guide the application of paint to canvas.